Hey CWC, it's Miss M and welcome to music class. Since we are now in October, we're doing my favorite holiday, Halloween. So we're gonna do today a spooky story using different sound effects. So you're gonna be using a tool that we have for the school this year, and it's called Music Play Online. And students have access for free, so I'm going to send you the link to this in the virtual classroom so that you can do this activity after watching the video. So once you get to Music Play, it looks like this. And you're going to scroll down all the way to Halloween sound effects, number 4 down here. And then there's a movie to watch, or a story to watch, and then the interactive tool to do your own. So the first thing we're going to do is watch this story. Along with the story, they've put in sound effects, such as screaming and creaking floorboards, and the car door slamming. So listen to how they use sound effects to enhance this story and make it more fun and more exciting to listen to. So let's take a listen to this together. I'm going to click on it. It's definitely going to pop up. We're going to full screen it. There we go. And here we go.
The Monster in the Closet. An interactive story with sound effects.
Do we have to move?
Yes, your father got a new job. It'll be fun. You'll meet tons of new friends. Come on, let's get you into the truck. Is Buttercup with you?
Yep, she's right here.
Great. Hop in.
They drove for several hours, passing through small towns on their way to their new life. It was supper time when they finally pulled into their new driveway. We're home! Arya got out of the car and pulled Buttercup along with her. The house she saw was old, and it looked a little spooky.
Are you sure?
Come on, silly. We'll fix it up and it'll feel like home in no time.
They grabbed a few boxes and headed into the house. It smelled like dust.
Your bedroom's upstairs. Why don't you go have a look?
Arya climbed the stairs with Buttercup still in hand. She walked into the room, surprised by how big it was. Their furniture had been moved a few days ago, and she set Buttercup on her bed.
Well, Buttercup, what do you think?
Arya asked, and opened the cage. Buttercup jumped off the bed and trotted around the room, then jumped back into her lap.
Well, if you like it, I like it.
Later that night, after everyone had gone to bed, Arya lay in bed nervous about going to school tomorrow. She'd spent the night going through every outfit she could find, but had finally given up and closed her closet. Buttercup wasn't with her, and she guessed she was out exploring the house. Arya closed her eyes, getting ready to fall asleep, when she heard it. She opened one eye.
What was that sound?
Arya's heart was starting to pound faster now. Was this house haunted? Now she knew it was coming from her closet. It was getting so loud, Arya screamed. Her mother burst into the room and flicked on the lights.
Arya, are you okay?
Can you hear it?
Hear what?
Something is in the closet.
Her mother frowned and walked over to her closet and opened it. Buttercup popped her head out, and Arya breathed out a sigh of relief.
She must have fallen asleep under all your clothes. Good night, you two.
Her mother turned off the lights, and Buttercup jumped up onto the bed next to Arya. She closed her eyes again. It was back! Buttercup sprung back up and looked towards the open closet. There was definitely something in there. Arya's heart was beating fast again. She couldn't handle it. She jumped out of bed and ran into her parents' room.
There's a monster in my closet.
A monster?
There's no monsters here.
Her parents got out of bed.
Can you show us?
Arya went back into her room, and as she got closer, the sounds got louder. She stopped at the door.
It's coming from the closet.
Her heart was beating fast. Her dad turned on the light and walked into the room. He opened the closet wide. When he looked up, he saw a dark hole in the roof.
I'll go grab you a flashlight, honey.
Arya's mom raced downstairs and appeared a few minutes later holding a flashlight. She handed it to Arya's dad, and he flicked it on. The whole family peered up into the dark hole. The sounds were getting louder now, and suddenly one long clawed finger came into view, and then another, until they could see 4 claws curling around the hole. Arya's heart was beating faster, and she gripped her mother's hand tightly. It was a monster. But then a little black nose popped into view. White fur followed until they could see a whole head of a raccoon peering down at them. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief.
Whew, it's just a raccoon. He must be stuck. We'll call the pest control tomorrow and get him freed. For tonight, why don't you and Buttercup come and sleep in our bed?
Arya gladly accepted. Her dad shut the closet door behind them, and they all went to sleep without another worry.
All right, and that is a sound effect story. So we heard how the author added in sound like a heartbeat or a car. What other sound effects did you hear in that story? Think for a minute. Well, I get out of this and show you what we're going to do. So here, let me show you again. When you get here, this is what you're going to use. You're going to use the spooky sound effects board. And this board has all kinds of sound effects, such as a cat meowing, boiling sounds, an alarm or a clock, and you're going to use these sounds to create your own spooky story. So you can come through and play with all of them and get inspired, or you could already have a story and then come and add the sound effects after. I think it's more fun if you just play with these until you get a really cool idea. So your assignment this week is to create a spooky story using the sound effects. You can write out your story, you can draw pictures to your story, and then put maybe like a little number on your story, like sound effect 1 happens on this page, sound effect 9 happens on this page. That way you could have a whole story. And then, once it's complete, I want you to show it to someone at home. If you'd like, you can record yourself doing it and email it to me, but I want you to show someone your sound effect story with your spooky sounds, your owl, or your witch. Whatever that story turns out being about. So get really creative, and sound effects are a really cool way to enhance your storytelling. So have fun with this, and I'll see you next week.